Speaking to you as the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and I'm telling you that we did not know about any forum. To your immediate political arrangement, it's not a free and democratic.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah. And top stories of big guns, those responsible for the formation of Ghana's current largest opposition party, the NDC. In the nexus group of party big guns, including some members of the NDC Council of Elders, who held that controversial forum, executives did not know about the forum and did not sanction it. Well, one of the prominent founding members of the party, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, has to full of self-critique. Listen.
This forum is a recognition of the flame.
The question before us today is this: can we make the National Democratic Congress the kind of party that can confront this crisis over our necks?
I think that the party continues to lose this opportunity to not understand the Kwesi Botre report. This is something that was supposed to be good for all of us.
Of Elvis in the Volta region, Dana Budakwi, former presidential hopeful of the party, Guzi Tano, and parliamentary candidate of the NDC of that particular controversial forum. We are learning that they are set to launch a nationwide campaign to hold current elected concept notes that spells out their strategy. Kiko Asante joins me in the studio with details of this. So, Kweku, this particular group, the NDC Democratic Platform Initiative, is made up of
sub-region. The second is the progressive intellectuals, and then cadres and NDC activists, and then finally organizing for Ghana. So these
death, why they believe the NDC is currently in crisis. In fact, they claim the NDC has for many years now been in crisis, and they have AT and the MPP, and that graph shows a constant downward trend from P's graph is on an upward trajectory. Now, they conclude in this particular document detailing why the party has been, falling in terms of its electoral outcomes. They believe that because it has lost touch with its values, that the party has no strategic development plan, overall growth of the party and sub-plans, no financial strategy, no strategic or tactical campaign capacity, poor capacity, election day operational capacity, that poorly trained polling agents, inability to quickly and effectively collate results, inability to promptly challenge fraudulent results. They catalog all these, including crumbling public credibility, particularly after its apparent public deception regarding the 2020 election outcomes. And I wonder what that really means. A reputation for corruption and incompetence. And this is competence. And so, could they come to what they plan to do about this? What is their strategy going forward?
Right, so they have two strategies. They have what they call the specific collaboration and for the 2020 elections and the Supreme Court petition.
So this is a campaign for leadership accountability, which means that they want to hold the current leaders accountable for the
establishment of an independent team to oversee this process, and finally, an agenda for reorganizing party institutions and processing test of our ability to collaborate effectively as progressives, and then the launch of an open, constructive, and focused campaign
for leadership accountability. We don't know what form that is going to take, but we're going to get some clarity from one of the organizers in proper perspective and explain for us what this broad strategy is. But we're learning today from the party executives were not even aware of it. Listen to the deputy general.
They were doing anything in the interest or under the sanctions of the NDC leadership, and to victory at all.
So this is how they describe it. They said it's an NDC forum securing the future of the NDC, and you say it is not. It's not
sanctioned in the such forum. What we did was the retreat, which you have widely reported within that period.
Okay, so amongst others, they're saying that there's a need for the party to focus on healing the horse and not selecting a rider.
So I will not be able to speak to their views now.
So that is the official party position on this. And he says he's not aware of this group. It talks about pay attention to the likes, the caliber of people who were there. Dana Budakwi is the chairman of the party's founding member of the party, Keda himself, Guzitano. So these are heavyweights in the party who sees permission or to all go ahead and organize this particular forum. Listen to him defending the organization of this party. John Mahama were in the Volta region, also holding another conversation with a similar objective of trying to reorganize, take stock of the 2020 elections and plan
across this country while NEC was busy carrying out its activities. Invariably, we are going to have those multiple conversations at the regional when it starts. But I'm saying that let's not always rush to look at things. Anyway, just who is the one who will decide when people meet and when people do not meet?
So
is this not a free and democratic country?
Yes, it's a free and democratic
country.
So
do you need permission from anybody to meet as like-minded people to discuss an issue?
Then, did you not need your executive members to be aware of the conversations that you're having? Did you not need them to participate in these conversations?
And that's why I'm saying I have been informed that the executive were invited. But the executive had also planned a program. And you cannot fault them and you cannot
a pro-Rollins faction within the NDC meeting to discuss the way forward for that group within the NDC?
Well, anybody can say anything, and anybody is. Does it mean there are that are not pro-Rollins group, the founder of the party? I always ends up eventually with the founder. We cannot all have the same idea about the way forward. What is important is to open up the lines of conversation, possible path.
Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, so there are many who are already calling for John Mahama to represent the party in 2020.
Why I keep saying that we should not always invent a problem.
Council of Elders. I want to bring in our Mr. Nchuboy Shakozi. He is a former Eastern Regional.
Very much.
So, from what I read in the concept note, which of course laid out that you are pursuing.
Oh yes. Hello.
I can hear you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
It is a well thought out to appreciate where we have come from, where we are going. But let me just correct one point, which our Deputy General Secretary said. That they received the letter. So it will be difficult for us to think or believe that chairman of the party, we address it to the chairman of the party.
And did he respond at all to this?
It was not responded, but
informing them that you're going to hold it or you're inviting them to be part of it?
No, we in the letter we invited them to also participate. That we try to have a gist within the letter of the concept paper, and also indicated that we want them to
also going to be engaged at that same time in the Volta region.
No, we're not aware, or they did not even acknowledge the receipt of the letter. But we felt that if they are going to engage there, that was. Oh, but the tendency that we represent, need to have a dialogue and discuss where we are at the moment, an election and its aftermath and all that. So we need to have a conversation and engage.
You don't do that. You don't do the internal stock taking first before you engage the grassroots?
We have done a lot of internal discussions, and we wanted to reach out to a lot of other people.
But for the executives,
the issues that were really
but for the executives of the party who prosecuted the elections and the election petition, this was the first time they were formally meeting to take stock. You didn't think that that should have been the first thing that all of you should have lent your support to before you engaged the rest of the rank and file?
When we send the letter, if they call us or they discuss that, no, we are going to do this, and even that, and accordingly, readjust our program. But nothing was no acknowledgement. And surely you yourself have said that these are people who were the foundation of this, our party. And we have watched and we have seen things are gap. We need to engage and discuss and find out what is happening and how we need to strategize and go forward.
Accountability for the 2020 elections and the Supreme Court petition. Please explain what you mean by that.
What we mean by that is that, you see, the outcome has come and we have all seen it. We need to have a forum to discuss and engage and then look at what happened is the way forward. A session of the party cannot be ignored or cannot be sidelined. We all have
on holding the leadership, the current crop of leaders accountable.
So why are you always talking about leadership and whatever? No.
I'm sorry, those are not my words.
Our party is a grassroots party. Our party was formed to give voice to the voiceless. Our party was formed to be a home of the workers, farmers, fishermen. Those are the things which motivated us to form the party. And in doing that, we need to constantly engage with them and be able to take on board their aspirations, to have a dialogue and concretize our ideas and strategies to enable us find why some of those people are deserted. That is not the case. And I think that is why people are trying to characterize. Honestly, if we don't have a formidable, strong, viral, dynamic party, as His Excellency, as Ambassador Dana Bonapi said that,
okay,
to be strong on the ground, we need to ensure that our structures are functioning on the ground.
Yeah.
As we get ourselves together for 2024.
Mr. Chuboisa, could please stay with me. He is a former Eastern Regional Minister in this patch. I'm grateful, Mr. Epson, for your time here on Top Story.
Hello?
Mr. Epson, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Yeah, thank you very much. Even before the death of the founder and the late President Wallace, may he rest in peace, there had been attempts of them thinking that they were the grassroots, they were the force on which the NDC came into power and seemed to slip to the backseat. So even before his sudden demise, that thing had been there. It hadn't gotten a bit of traction to try and assert themselves in the party, forgetting that they perhaps, I may be wrong, but the concept of it to try and have a greater stake in the party.
There's something pretty curious I wanted to get. This has become an issue also because of the timing of this conference, also because the elected leaders, Council of Elders, the former president, were all holding another Dana Bodakbi. And Dana Bodakbi's role is interesting because he's also the chairman of the party's Council of Elders in the Volta region. Listen to something he said comparing the two.
Quickly indicate that as we're having this forum, I've been told there's a retreat in Ho by the national executive of the party. But upon hearing about this one and the object, because I believe that out of the analysis and the synthesis of it. So thank you very much once again.
So, Mr. Epson, this is the chairman of the party's Council of Elders in the Volta region. He acknowledges he was invited to the National Executive's retreat. But when he...
I think that I hadn't heard this clip, but it confirms what I've been saying, that it's an attempt by the Keda group to try and reassert themselves, as the Keda group was finding it a bit difficult to assume the role they want. Mr. Agbedapi is a political battle that, for the sake of the party, they may want to revisit, not win.
That's the question I was coming to. Is it an exercise in futility? Because some say where the party is now is a complete job.
Well, I think that basically the party having done so well after 2016, I believe that the party must eat. So maybe if they go to Congress, maybe next year and hold the elections for the flag bearer for 2024.
Does anybody else stand a chance if John Mahama decides to get back in the race?
Given his performance in 2020.
Mr. Ntribo Isiako, who is the former Eastern Regional Minister who works a central role in the organization of that.
Are going to be distracted by